at Ugonyama section of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. The People's Democratic Party leaders from the South, including Executive Governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, and the Board of Trustees Chairman Adolphus Wabara, Austin Akoldun on Tuesday, shunned the meeting of PDP stakeholders held at the party National Secretariat in Abuja. PDP leaders from the region had, in a statement by its national vice chairman, Chief Ali Odefa, distanced themselves from yesterday's meeting, having endorsed Sunday Ude Okoye as national secretary at the meeting held last Friday in Enugu. Aircraft carrying 5 and 5-3 passengers suffered a tire burst late Tuesday night at the Malam Aminu International Airport, Kano State. Craft had earlier departed the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos, Kano State. It left Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos for Kano State. It was, however, gathered that all the passengers on board the flight were evacuated safely from the aircraft without any injuries. Further in the news, no fewer than 1,008 suspects have been linked to various financial crimes and have been arrested in separate operations in 2024. The operations also led to the recovery of $11 million and 142 billion naira, according to a statement Tuesday by the forces. And then the public relations officer of the police force, Olumuyiwa Adeoji. Adeoji said the arrests and recoveries were part of Nigeria's ongoing efforts to address its placement on the financial. And now in business news, the dollar to naira black market rate for today is buying at 1,620 naira and selling for 1,640 naira. Dollar to naira CBN rate for today is buying at 1,526 naira and for 1,527 naira. Sterling Bank Limited has petitioned the Inspector of Police, Kayode, to address the alleged use of the National Assembly Police Force CRD to harass the bank and its executives. Recall the Medan system has on the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petition and indicted Sterling Bank for alleged management, money laundering, and misappropriation of funds from its account domiciled with the bank. However, the bank, in a statement by its chief marketing officer, Mr. Morris Igugu, refused the claims and provided details of the debt. The federal government of Nigeria, through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, has fully subscribed to the Series 1 issuance of 150 billion naira for the Real Estate Investment Funds. The Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund is an initiative by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his vision, championed by the Minister of Finance, Coordinating Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, to advise and provide home ownership and spur inclusive economic development for Nigerian workers. And now in sports, Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface said his medicals are far move to Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr. Bayern Leverkusen have since agreed to a 60 million transfer deal for the striker. And lastly, the helicopter crash killed the owner of Premier League football club Manchester City was in an accident. An inquest jury have ruled on Tuesday that Vachai Sivaradin into flames should taking off and the King Power Stadium following a match on October 2018. The suit has now been decided on Tuesday. Thank you for joining us. I am Mavis Atudume.
hottest takes on breaking news and politics.
Just in, government of Nigeria to investigate civil servants receiving salaries from abroad.
The problem is that some of the people who are in top government positions in our country have no shame. See, let's leave this government for now and tell ourselves the basic truth. When we are ready for development in this country, we will join our hands together and make this country better. From local news to local politics, get the real stories behind the head. I repeat, you can was illegal. The Senate doesn't have the right. Let it be on record. Join the conversation where your voice counts. I was not there. Check the record. And as I said, number one, wait now. High voltage, 9 to 10 a.m. Mondays through Fridays, exclusively on Vogue 104.3 FM.
Good morning and welcome to High Voltage. This is the Wednesday edition. It's the 29th day of January 2025. We are moving forward and in the next 2 days it's going to be over, so hang in there. Welcome to today's edition of High Voltage. My name is Mavis Atudume. You can join us live on YouTube at High Voltage News. Like, subscribe, and share. You can also call live into the studio to review the details of the news with me. This morning, we're looking at headlines, analyzing stories, and making sense of everything that's going on. You can call the studio lines, which will be opened up in just a few minutes. All right, we're going to open them up and have you join us this morning because there's a lot of interesting stories on the news. This morning, I don't know how much of it you've caught up with because I do know that most of my listeners are very ardent news listeners and they keep up with what's going on in the country. You have heard about the deportations. You have heard about El Rufai and all that he's doing. He's all over the news. Atiku, everybody's coming together. Everybody's talking. And of course, have you heard the talks about coalition? They are looking to have a coalition. And of course, Peter Obi has said he is not forming any coalition with anybody. The only person who needs a coalition in this country is the Nigerian people who need to set aside religious differences, political differences. All of these are ideologies and marry each other. Come together, bring all of your politics together, bring your traditions together, bring your ethnicity together, bring them all together. Let's combine it. We are the people who need a coalition. All right. So the news is packed this morning. So let's explore. Join me, right? You can call 0706 048 5853. You can also call 0915 570 8347. While the country is trying to adjust to a very new government, which is just about 2 years old, the people who are responsible for governance are busy. They have begun to plot for 2027. So yeah, the names that you are going to hear this morning are familiar because you've heard them almost every other election. If you've been around long enough, it's the same names. It's Atiku, it's El Rufai, it's the same people. So this is going to continue to happen. And El Rufai is serious because he just publicly made it known to everybody that he is leaving APC for good. And then he has bashed this particular administration very terribly, which Reno Omokri came back with a comeback for El Rufai. It's a back and forth this morning. So let's get right to it. From the Punch newspapers, telecoms 50% tariff hike. Subscribers head for court as NCC talks deadlock. All right. 3,690 Nigerians listed as U.S. mass deportation continues. Now, it's real. It's getting quite real. Trump is not playing around. He's cut off funds for HIV, yes, it's cut off most AIDS coming from America into Africa. And Africa is rising up in arms and asking why this is and complaining that there's going to be a lot of a global health crisis because America is refusing to can use it to not develop or do anything to Africa. That is what we have observed with our system. So everybody's up in arms. The WHO is screaming. Everybody's screaming because the US by Trump have shut up every door that enables misappropriation and probably certain behaviors around this part of the world. So maybe now that Donald Trump has cut off funding for so many things that we are naturally supposed to do for ourselves, because I'm thinking that the Americans do not pay we don't pay tax to America. So these funds and these aids that they do send to us, what's the arrangement? What's the plan? Is America our Santa Claus? Must they continue to give these monies? Have you ever walked into any hospital and saw a research center, an HIV research center that is still functional in this country? Have you seen one? We must be honest. Now, but these things are happening. The deportations are quite serious. And now he's deporting them in military planes, which is costing America $18 million, which the American people are the people who are complaining this time because they don't understand why Trump is sending these immigrants home in military planes. It's sounding very official. It's sounding like something is going on. And most countries have refused to let the military planes into their country. Everybody's wondering what's going on. So, like I always tell you, listen out. Find out what's going on around the world. All of this, they're also talking about crude oil global reduction from all over. So this might not even depend on our system anymore. Maybe Trump and some of his moves might just affect us more than we think. President Buhari has gone ahead to say that he now feeds on rent from his house. The former president has gone ahead to explain that since he has left office, and because he's not a very wealthy man, he says he now rents out his homes so that he can make money and sustain himself. You must feel sorry for these former presidents, as they are very mostly wretched and they don't have a lot to sustain themselves by. Now they have to go into real estate because it's quite lucrative. All right. Presidency fumes as El Rufai criticizes government and urges opposition to unite. Oh yeah, it's getting interesting. PDP has told Atiku to mind his business. A lot is happening. Kick off. Listen to the news. Read some dailies. Get to the knowing. Find out what's happening. Listen out. You might begin to find these things interesting and you'll begin to draw the lines together. If you are a conscious person, young people, take note. Young people, take note. If you're a young person in this country, I encourage you to find out what the politicians are doing. You might find that you are at an advantage if you find out what they are doing. It will help you to decide the trajectory at which your life will take. It'll help you to plan for the future. But if you wave them aside and say it doesn't matter, if you pretend it doesn't concern you, you will find out that your development and your growth as a person will be so badly affected, you won't even believe it. The people who are doing these things in this country, from what we can see, are people who had the best of this country. They enjoyed so many things for free. They enjoyed so many things for free. Safety. They enjoyed a safe Nigeria. Now we live in a country where you literally need to think between taking a flight and taking a bus to certain parts of this country because it's so expensive you could lose your life. You are sure, you're almost sure that you could lose your life. And there is absolute silence. All of these insecurity, deaths, explosions, and terrible things happening in our country, El Rufai, Atiku, and the rest of them are very interested in 2027. That's the key. Not fix it. Not trying to find. We are crowdfunding Nigerians going on social media to crowdfund to fix primary schools in rural areas, to fix hospitals and medical centers in rural areas, tax-paying communities with everything that they require. They have their local government chairman, they have their House of Representatives, they have senators representing those districts. But we have Nigerians, we have the Bitcoin chief, we have Gaius Chibueze and his friends, and all the people, young Igbo people who are probably in diaspora or even down here, who are doing crowdfunding to fix what is government's responsibility to fix. And someone's asking, because our Proco doctor asked Nigerians on social media yesterday to crowdfund to fix a medical center in Lagos. And Nigerians became mad and started asking, when did we start doing this? We are fixing our roads. We are crowdfunding to repair medical centers. We are crowdfunding to fix primary schools in our communities. What's going on? And senators need 10 billion naira for rent and furniture in their homes. People who earn in millions. The contrast between the lived experience in Nigeria and what we see here every day is completely contradicting, if we're being honest. Well, let's continue to look at what's on the stories this morning. NEC disputed secretary's seat top as PDP BOT meets today. Okay, so we have a lot of expectations coming in this morning. U.S. aid suspension threatens Nigeria's fight against HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. It's about time we get to use some of that money for some real Nigerian problems, except we're all going to continue as we were before and let it all go where it might, mind you. All right, Max Airplane suffers tire burst in Kano State. All right, that's as much as we can grab from the Punch this morning. Let's take it straight to the Daily Post and tell you that 4 billion naira seized assets. Arrest of Kano anti-corruption chair Magaji raises fresh dust. A lot of anti-corruption agents are under fire for a lot of corruption charges, embezzlement, and taking from the coffers. A lot is going wrong around us. We must be very careful what's happening. El Rufai is greater, smarter than all of Tinubu's minister. APC chieftain Ibukwe spits fire. Of course he does. Okay, all right. DSS arrests suspected notorious gun runners in Zamfara state. Okay, so let's see what else is good that you need to know. Okay, so no group can impose Sharia laws through the back door, says Governor Abiodun. Still in the news, U.S. judges have moved to stop Trump from freezing federal grants and loans. All right, they are moving to do that. They're moving to do that, but the guy he seems to have a plan. He seems to have a plan, and he's serious about making sure that he sees them through. All right, let's see if there's some good news here. Onion prices crash in the north and southwest Nigeria amid fresh harvest drive. Thank you, God. Maybe onions can make a reappearance in our meals once again. It's become such a high commodity. It's almost gold. These days, when you purchase the suya from the suya spots, they don't even give you the onions anymore. It used to be part of the program. I mean, there was a time you could buy half onions and half suya, but they're literally taking all the fun away from everything. Everything. So maybe this crash of onion prices around can bring it back. We want to see it back in our foods, the akara and the things like that. They are lacking the onions. The stews are missing the onions. So maybe this is good, something good. Check what's going on in the market. Give us a report. Tell us, is it really come down? If you're in the market already, would you let us know what's happening there? The phone lines are officially open, 0706-048-5853. You can also call 0915-570-8347. Still on the headlines this morning, INEC begins implementation of recommendations from 2023 general elections. All right, about time they begin to implement recommendations from the last election. But Do we really trust you, INEC? Do we trust you, or we're just taking your word for it? It's not like we've been burnt once. We've been burnt once now, so we're just there wondering what you have up your sleeves this time around. Anyways, let's see if we can grab a couple more stories. But let's talk to you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Greetings to you. Your name and location,
Moses
please.
Okore.
You're
Moses Okore
welcome.
from Enugu.
You're welcome.
Yes, I think I would like to support Trump to cut most of such so-called aids that they used to deceive Nigeria.
Why do you say they're
Because
deceiving us?
see, yes, because you know what they do, or what they and Nigeria do. We know the kind of business they do. What we really need is anything that, see, let me tell you, if you, anybody who is a dependent,
Okay.
who is just depending on another person to survive,
Yes.
that person can never be a man or a woman all his life.
True.
So I think Nigerians should, I wish that all other Western world will follow suit. We need to, our leaders, they kept telling us that we should, we should suffer so that we will enjoy. So I think it's high time we should suffer, that we should suffer to stand. That is how.
Oops. Oops. All right. I wish I'd heard the rest of that. But thank you so much for calling, Mr. Moses. The phone lines are open. You can also drop your comments with us on YouTube this morning, just in case you can't speak where you are. We're on YouTube. It's High Voltage News. You can like and you can subscribe and you can share. Now, do you think that we can afford to take care of these problems ourselves? Do you think we can afford to pay for these things ourselves, or we must totally have to get them from outside? Because considering the amount of monies that are spent on other things back home, we would think that we should be able to afford some of these things. I mean, 21 billion naira instead of a renovation. If we put 21 billion naira into Nigeria's health sector, I think you would see a difference. I think you would see a difference. And that also brings me back to the promise that Nigerians will be distributed 75,000 naira by the federal government. Again, I say, if you all start paying 70,000 naira minimum wage in this country and it becomes static and it becomes a thing, you won't need to do any media ops for the world to know that there's been a little relief in the system. I promise you that if you paid 70,000 naira minimum wage to earners in January, you're going to see a significant change next month. But you're not paying minimum wage yet. The promised minimum wage that you promised the Nigerian people, you have not started paying it. It's stifling. And now these global elements have started to come up, because I didn't think that anybody who is in government presently anticipated this particular move by the US government, but it's happening. And who knows what more is happening. And we have about 3,600 plus Nigerians coming in from America because Trump is sending them home. And they're coming to meet us the way we are. You know, when we talk about these things, it's not because we don't have anything better to do with our time. It's because at the end of the day, there are really consequences for action, even if you don't like the fact that that is true, even if you don't like that idea. But actions have a comeback. Actions have a boomerang. Actions have a return. There's an end to every process. There's a finish. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Greetings to you.
Yes, sorry, I'm Moses Okore. I just ran out of airtime.
It's all right. Thanks for calling back.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that I support Trump on that his action. But what he should help us do, he should help the poor Nigerians, if it's possible. That is, let there be a way of. I know that there are world powers. If they want to help Nigeria to stand on their own, they can do that in several ways. If Nigerian issue becomes their issue, not by giving aid, but by helping us to stand, it will go a wrong way. If Nigeria could not stand as a country, it can go the ways of secession. It's not a crime. Other countries has done that, but that is on one side. Then I want to tell Buhari, who is telling us how he's renting his apartments to make money because of hunger. Please, this man should respect himself. He has been in all the big office, like Minister for Petroleum,
That's right.
this and that, and all of these things before now, before even head of states. And he kept telling us to playing this game of being poor and being getting one and all of that. And he used that tricks and later became president of Nigeria. And we know, personally, somebody like me, I know that a lot of things went under the bridge as a result of corruption under his watch. A lot of money unaccounted and a lot of things happened. So he has become the president he wanted to be. He's now former. So he has getting to the apex. Let him stop deceiving himself and deceiving Nigerians. We know his record. We know all he did. So all this poverty claiming that he will attract sympathy, and people will think he's honest. He's corruption free. He should turn it down. We know him. If he don't want to enjoy his life, let him not enjoy it. But we know that he's not poor. A lot of things. So he should let him respect himself and enjoy the wealth and all the nonsense he did under his watch.
All right, Mr. Moses, I would also I want to caution you to please watch your language. This program does not accept use of abuse. You are expected to express yourself civilly, simply, and clean, so that we don't get ourselves into trouble. I mean, it doesn't make us better if we are abusive and insolent. All right, so please, I encourage you to call and express your comments, express your views and ideologies and analysis of these stories. But I will also warn you to keep your comments simple, clean, and civil, so we don't break any rules while we're trying to do the right thing. Okay, so let me take you to the Vanguard News this morning, where it is said that Trump's immigration policy, it's 500. Vanguard is reporting 500. Oh, apologies. Let's take that again. The Vanguard News is reporting 5,144 Nigerians face arrest and deportation from the U.S. Don't forget that the Punch News told us there were about 3,600 people. The Vanguard is reporting 5,144, and this is real numbers. This is real numbers. Imagine what's happening in this country, and we have 5,144 people coming in to join us. The shock that's going to hit these brothers and sisters of ours coming back home to come and see how far we've done since they've not been here. So you would think whatever reason that made them leave the country, that what do you think they would think when they come home? What do you think the people who are coming back to meet us, what do you think they would think when they come back here and realize that we obviously didn't even get better from the time they left? And coming back home in the situation at which they're coming back home, what exactly are they going to do here? You know how much unemployment we have currently in the country? And we have up to 5,000 of us coming back to come join us in a place where feeding is priority. The country has turned feeding into the priority. Most of you are working to eat. Most of us are working just so we can feed ourselves. Just so it doesn't look like you're lazy, so it doesn't sound like you're not trying. You know The jobs don't pay much. The money is almost useless. Because when you're paid, you can't even tell where the money went. This is so unfair. Good morning to you. Greetings to you. Your name and location, please. You're welcome.
Talking about the Nigerians that are deported, that's a good one.
Okay.
You know, that's a good one because if you are staying in the United States for like, let's say 3, 4, 5 years, you must have learned certain things there. You must have seen how things work. You understand? So when you come back to Nigeria, you give back to society where you came from, where you originally came from.
You give them back what?
The things you've learned out there.
Like what?
I don't know. Eh?
Like what and what? What kinds of things would they have learned back from there?
Maybe I think you're working in a factory.
Okay.
Or maybe you're working in a hotel.
Okay.
You see how things work there, how they run their hotels, how they run their factories, how effective and efficient they are.
Okay.
You know, how they motivate their staff.
Okay.
So if you come back to Nigeria, you know how things work there.
Okay.
The things you've learned there, you should be able to know what to do in your immediate environment. I don't want to get it.
Okay.
So, I mean, people will say, maybe disappointment, or something like that. So you come back, you don't need to be a slave forever. Before China grew to the extent they are in the 70s, 80s, they have to ask their people to come back and develop their nation. They did not just go, they were migrating before.
But Charles, is there a reason these people that you think left Nigeria? Is there a particular reason why they left? The Japa syndrome. Why do you think Nigerians leave?
Eh?
Why do you think Nigerians leave Nigeria to go and work in other countries?
Even America is America.
Okay, but I'm saying there aren't a lot of I don't know about the Chinese and how many of them are coming back to China, but I know that if you were sending me from America back to China, I wouldn't be so devastated. I'm just saying, if you're sending me because apparently I couldn't find my feet in America, I couldn't document myself properly, I couldn't legalize myself in America, which is why they are sending me back home. So I'm wondering if the reason.
Let's have a conversation.
Okay.
In the 70s and 80s,
Okay.
China was not the way it used to be.
All right.
You understand?
Okay.
Those things they learned in US, in UK, Germany, that they use in bringing themselves to where they are today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let me give you one. Let me give you a typical example. Don't just do not the best producers in Nigeria today. That's one of the best supporting companies in Nigeria today. It was in London before. Was even in London. Are you aware? He was a taxi driver in London. But he had this inclination towards music. So he was, maybe he not there to do one or two things in London and got into music that at a very little level. At the point he thought, let me come
You say this thing like it's not a process. You just mentioned that he did one or two things. He did one or two things in London.
He was a taxi driver. He now started going to studios in UK. So he now said, let me come back to Nigeria. And in fact, in Nigeria today, there are few people in the music scene that have more talent than Don Jazzy.
So you believe that he started this whole music business through driving cabs, after driving cabs in the UK?
That was what he was doing initially.
Is that as much as you know about his biography?
No, but I know a little bit about him.
Okay,
Yes,
and that's all. This is what you told me now is the journey at which he now arrived to the fame at which he has now. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's about what I'm saying. I said if you are in UK, in London, UK, you are in US, Germany, learn something from them. Come back here and give us the size. You mustn't be there forever, working for people to be paying you stipends and you feel that you are earning money. People like Innocent are producing cars in Nigeria today.
Did you know how much money was generated from diaspora Nigerians in 2024? Did you know how much money? Did you know how much money? Charles, did you know that some families in this country, right as we speak, as we're talking, are being funded from their relatives who live outside of this country? Are you aware of this information?
Okay, how much? Tell me how much was generated. No, it's about,
What do you mean?
$20 billion. I heard that the Volkswagen.
Has this country ever gone to another place to borrow $20 billion to the best of your knowledge? Have we ever done that before?
There are companies
Mr. Charles,
$80 billion.
Mr. Charles, has Nigeria ever borrowed $20 billion before? Have we ever borrowed that? No, you said let's have a conversation. Have we ever borrowed 20 billion from anybody before as a country? Have we done that?
I don't know.
Okay, let me tell you, we have borrowed 20 billion. In fact, not very long ago, we just borrowed 20 billion. We just did.
Melvis, let me just put something in perspective for you. Nations don't grow by people bringing money from diaspora to Nigeria. Nations grow by what you produce in your country. Nations like China.
I agree. I agree, but I'm asking you, is the country at that stage right now? That's what I'm asking you. Are we there where we can accommodate these people?
We have to start from somewhere. I don't mention nothing for you. Producing cars in Nigeria with a hard economic condition. People have 20 nothings in Nigeria. You know what it means? I was going flipping through something. Volkswagen made a profit of 17 billion euros. It's a company. It's a company in Germany. Volkswagen. Last year, Toyota made $1.something billion as profit. The profit that Toyota made is more than the money Nigerians bought in from diaspora. These companies are started by individuals. I don't know why I use Conjeti as an example. Conjeti is driven. There's one guy, I think, what's his name? Very dark man. 700 million naira for supporting what he was doing. That is how big Conjeti is today. He's not in London. He's in Nigeria. Don't get my point where I'm coming from. That they're bringing them back from Nigeria, blessing in disguise. We can't be running out of this country like slaves. How much do they pay them there? People that earn good money out, people who play professional football, who are into boxing, people who don't even earn money or notice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just common people.
Okay. If you say so.
You see how that you will be now, who is a footballer?
Yes.
He gets £80,000 a week. Every week, £80,000.
And that's the only way, that's the only way it can be big money if they are earning it at that number.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people who earn big money. Most Nigerians, go and check how much they earn weekly. Not this constant.
So the working class, as the Nigerians who are working class outside here, they don't make any money. That's what you're saying.
They make money, but they are just there.
You just said they don't make any money. I told you the Nigerian diaspora collection for 2024. You said it wasn't any money. I told you families were surviving. I know families in numbers who are funded by people who are outside here because what they make here can get them through, and which is true. I'm not telling you a fallacy.
This is not how nations.
Yes, it's not how nations are, but I'm talking about your present reality.
Mm-hmm. If we have 6 Dangotes in Nigeria, 6 or 7 Dangotes in Nigeria, Nigeria will move forward. Dangote is investing in Nigeria. You get complete oil sector everywhere is there. That is how nations move. I know one young man I knew him in Lagos that was working for Dangote. If I tell you the conversation I had with him, you will know how big Dangote is. People working for him. So we need people like, you see, like, if all these they will take Bezos, they will talk of you guys. They are human beings like us.
All right, Charles, I have to let you go now so that all this can join the conversation.
Let me just round up. What we need in Nigeria for us to come back home and develop this country. We can't be royals doing this thing we are doing. To go to Libya, Libya is threatening us.
Charles, I have to let you go. We've taken too much of my time. I have to let you go, Charlie. All right, I understand what you're saying, but have you tried to look at it from a realistic standpoint? You call numbers. It's a lot of numbers. 80 million pounds. That's the only way they're making money. Come on, Charlie. Good morning to you. Greetings. You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
This is Barrister Chukwuemeka calling from Enugu.
Welcome, Barrister.
I think I completely disagree with the last caller. Our brothers and sisters who are in diaspora, they are contributing immensely to the welfare of our people here. We must have to admit that. It's a fact. Even though he's making that argument, that's not how a nation grows. But we know people like Cubans, the level of doctors they have, them exported outside, and we saw how much their country received through that. And so many families here at home have been fed from the diaspora. Virtually almost every family here is having one person or the other that is outside. And because of the way we share our value, whatever they try to save there, you see them making some contribution to their relations here at home. So we can't just dismiss it with pinch of salt. It's not true. We can't. We have to acknowledge that effort and the impact of it in the economy. We have to. That one is even more genuine than what we are comparing with other forex exchange. Okay, we're talking about Dangote and all that. And that's when we want to make arguments, get the background of what you are doing, the background of argument you want to make, more especially on a public radio like this. The Dangote of the whole world, we know the concessions, we know a lot of things that was just given to him. There was a time he was taken to Congo or somewhere, Nigerian government signed MOU, signed guarantees cement factory and all that. So you don't just say it if you have 6, 7 Dangotes. There are other factors that are contributing to it, which so many Nigerians may not even access, may not even have access to. What we are saying here is to have a better condition, a better foundation, a good leadership. If we get our leadership right, everything will trickle down. It's about the leadership. The leader, if we have a good leader, like here, they will promote SMEs. That's why in overseas they promote SME, because these are the people that are the engine of the economy. You know, we need to promote them. Our leaders should think out of box, because it appears their policies and programs are not helping our people. It's very clear on a daily basis. They're taxing people more. They told us that they remove subsidy, the government will have more money to develop infrastructure. But you can look at the triple effect of taxes citizens are paying. So where is the gain from that subsidy? We are being subjected because of transport fare. It has to increase the entire orbit and need of our livelihood. Yet the government will still come and impose more taxes on small scale SMEs. I mean, it doesn't show that they are well articulated in what they are doing. I mean, they should begin to change and understand the effect of their policy on people. You know?
Thank you, Barrister. Thank you so much for calling into the program this morning. Do have a great day. Now, speaking of SMEs, the Enugu State government, through the Enugu SME Center, in strategic partnership with Cafe One, all right, proudly unveils Enugu Cafe One, a first of its kind world-class co-working space and digital hub designed to empower Ndi Enugu with cutting-edge resources, premium workspace, and an inspiring environment for techpreneurs, creatives, and business professionals. All right, let me put it in lay terms. If you need a mobile office, you're working class, you're into tech, you're a creative, and you're a business professional, and you need a place where you can go sit down and get some work done, the Enugu State government has made through the Center of SMEs, a strategic partnership with a cafe. It's called the Cafe One. You might want to check them out on the internet, right? He's bringing them to Enugu, like I told you. Tap in, tap in, tap in. Something good is happening in Enugu State. Get into the program, all right? And while you're getting into the program, get your businesses, get your products out there to the world. Come and advertise with Volt 104.3 FM. We are solar powered, we never go off, and we have the best services in the business. So come and do business with us at number 64 Zubulu Street, Independence Layout, Enugu. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. So this is an amazing one coming into Enugu now. So it's good news for young people. I like to report good news. It makes me happy. Someone like me would be going to the Cafe One. So if it comes on, you're sure that you're going to be seeing some Mavis at the Cafe One. Also, let me read you a few investigator stories before we call it quits this morning. You can still call into the program. It's still on. We have from now till about 15 minutes roughly before we shut it down this morning. But hey, you can still share your thoughts and views on any of these stories, any of these news stories. You can help us analyze, help us share views and contributions on what's happening. All right, let's know how you feel about the things that are going on. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Mavis.
Greetings to you.
Sorry, I'm Moses Okore. Please, let me sharply disassociate myself from that guy that is saying that deporting Nigerians will make Nigeria better.
Okay.
You know, I was commending what Trump is doing, but that is not a part of what I'm commending.
Oh yeah, you commended the HIV fund removal, right? The funds for malaria and all those, all the health care that America was sending aids for, right?
Yes, Nigerians can survive
Yes.
if they want to survive. But what I'm trying to say is that aspect of deporting Nigerians,
Yes.
and somebody is telling us that if they come in, that Nigeria will build Nigeria. I will tell you that 99% of those people running out of Nigeria today is as a result of, that is the short, they are being chased away directly or indirectly. So, and I will say this, any family that doesn't have somebody abroad now, it's like, I don't know the word to use to qualify it, but that family is like it's not existing because it's mainly the family that you can see life in them are those that have people outside. And if they should be deported just like that, I think those families will be almost, that life in them may be taken away, so which it may be translated to death. So I think Trump should consider that aspect. It's too bad. Nigerian today, see, I'm in Nigeria and I'm learning business in Nigeria, and I tell you, it's hazardous to do business in Nigeria. All these things they are putting Dangote and putting Innocent. He should go and ask Innocent what he is suffering. That of Dangote, we know that he has a lot of support from the government. In short, if you want, if government want to breathe in your business, that is want to make you to grow, you will just grow. Whether you know what you are doing or you don't know what you are doing, but you will just grow like a coca Greek. And if you don't, so let's not just deceive ourselves. Our people coming being deported will mean death in most families. It's too bad. It's too dangerous at this point in time.
I hear
People
you.
are over there, see, doing a lot of things here. For example, I know a lot of them outside there doing piggery businesses
That's
down
true.
here.
That's true. That's true.
That's some funding it and employing people.
That's right.
So it's better
That's
they
right.
are there doing that here. But for them to come down here just like that, unprepared, that is the worst aspect of it. Unprepared and unarranged.
Yes.
I think it is suicidal to many people. So let nobody support nonsense. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Moses. I couldn't have said it better myself. That was very, very precise. But you have to tell yourself a certain level of truth. Come on. All right, let's hear you. Good morning to you. Your name and your location, please.
That was a callback. It's very unfortunate that most Nigerians have this mentality and think like mediocre. Let me tell you something. When at our people like Cuba, Germany can't tell. Germany was the First World War. There was hunger, unemployment. Hitler galvanized German economy and reduced unemployment to 0%. 0%. He reduced the military. He rebuilt the economy. That was what companies like Volkswagen came and industrialized Germany. They support the defeat, and people are coming at the time that Dangote, they gave him this thing, they gave him nothing. Man, I can't believe this. I know companies that are trying in this house, in Nigeria here. Let's come back and rebuild our country, and people are always complaining, always blaming the government, always talking. I know banks are making profit. How are they making the profit?
Who is making profit?
Banks.
Banks,
Let
okay.
people have profit.
But you're calling companies, you're calling big corporations. You understand? You've been doing that. You've been calling big corporations. We're talking about individuals, people who left the country because they thought that they could do better. And we've tried to tell you that most families in Nigeria presently, imaginary or not, are dependent on their brothers and sisters who are not here. Those people are doing things here.
What I'm saying is that
Mr. Moses even mentioned to you that those people out there are out there creating employment in here. I know this. Most of them have buildings and constructions. They have things going on. They are paying people to do jobs back here at home while they're struggling over there because you said the money they are making, you said the money they are making is useless. You waive the money that you said the money that they are working for is useless, that it is nothing, that they don't make money. You even said that doctors and you said nurses and doctors. You said nurses and doctors. You said nurses and doctors are not making any money. Charles, I have to let you go, but you need to be reasonable when you say some of these things. You said on this platform that nurses and doctors abroad were not making money and that the monies they were making was nothing. You gave me an example of footballers who made 80 million pounds weekly, and that is what you considered to be money. And someone has called you to give you a human perspective that families are dependent. You don't understand. You might be privileged. You might have better opportunity or better standing than most Nigerians. But this deportation means hunger for most people. It means displacement for most families. It means more sick, aged people who are going to not get medical care because someone cannot afford their medication or their treatments or the things that they require. Some of us are not actually conscious of the level of poverty and deterioration that is in our environment. It is quite sad to see. I am telling you, this is not the best news. Yes, we wish that home works. We wish that home could take care of all of us. We wish that we didn't have to go anywhere in the first place. But look at our reality. Good morning to you. Are you there? Oh, greetings. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Having a conversation. The Trump deportation of Nigerians from the United States of America is very appalling. It should be an eye-opener to the government and to the government. We hear on daily basis Nigerians being deported from other parts of the world on a regular basis. Are you with me?
I am here.
There is need to prevent this because the color of the crop of the young man for example you said is partly enough. We have to look at. Let me tell you. You know Ghana. You know how many Nigerians studied in Ghana?
I am aware. I am aware. I am aware.
How much Ghanaians made from Nigeria studied in Ghana?
Good.
Ask yourself a question. You come from Nigeria here. How many Ghanaians are studying here? You don't say, but how many Ghanaians are here? The Nigerians studying in Ghana is very enormous.
Yes. Yes.
Our government, even many people in Ghana alone. You know, I was when I was undergraduate in those days. A white man was giving a public lecture. He was in high school. If all of you are going to Europe, who will develop their country? All of you want to go to Europe. Who will develop Nigeria? Chinese are the ones developing China. Japanese are the ones developing Japan. The government and the government should put this in order to avoid this unnecessary embarrassment on daily basis for countries abroad. We are the people that to put this nation in order, whether we like it or not. Let me stop there. Maybe later we continue.
Thank you very much, Moses. I appreciate your point of view. This is, you see what I'm saying? We have to hear from each other. And see if we agree. Sometimes we don't agree, and sometimes we agree. And these differences are the differences that we are living out in our reality. These differences in thoughts and ideologies are the differences between us. Good morning to you. Yes. Okay, good morning to you. Please give us your name and your location.
I won't be here to what is it called? What the last caller said.
Your name and location, please. Let us continue.
Justice.
Location.
Justice from Abuan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Fire
So
down.
I would be here to build a country where damage has been badly done. Somebody saying that people should not. People have been in other places and made it. Let's not forget that Lagos once deported Southerners, if you know. What is it called? Fashola. In our own country. Fashola deported some Southerners. In our own country. So wherever you are, you find yourself or stay there. People have been in foreign land and they made it. So I won't be here to repair all these things they are damaging. Where will you start? If you are to repair Nigeria, where will you start? I'm sorry for those who are trying to contest again, because the damage has been badly done. It is irreparable. It is done and continuously, even if to at least to have a say on a little things. This country is in a very big mess. If you must know how much we are owing now, how much we are owing.
Oh yes, I think we're each owing about 600 plus thousand. Yes, 600 plus thousand.
Of which now, even if they start you people to pay the money now, maybe let me say an individual will now accept to pay this money. Are they not still going to borrow again? Are they not still going to borrow again? You remove subsidy, and you tell us that once you remove subsidy, this and this, this and this, this and that, this and that. And what do you have? Now they are importing fuel from America.
Oh, Justice, I'm short for time. I'm short for time. I wish you had called earlier.
No, I rest my case. Maybe I don't want to lament.
It's all right.
Making me lament.
You have to. I'm not the one doing it. It's the system that's doing it. Have a good morning. I have to let you go. Listen, these are all signs. What you're seeing are all signs. While you're sleeping and waving things away and thinking things don't matter, reality. This is reality. First of all, none of this is good at all. This is all signs that our country is not doing okay. Why are we having this conversation about these deportations? Because we know that back home, we that are here are struggling. That's the word. We are struggling to survive. So, if you are a kind person, if you're an honest person, if you're not living in your own imaginations and delusions, you will wonder what these 5,000 people are coming to join us here to do. It's the truth. So we will continue to look at these stories. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Join me on High Voltage, 9 a.m. every weekday. All right? Let's talk about the nation and find out how we can help and make our lives better. My name is Mavis Atudume. While you're out there, try to be good to yourself and your neighbors. Good morning.